Hello everyone and welcome back to F1 2017 with me, LoveSpuds, Part 6 Monaco here. And look, there's a 28 on the front row there on the right. We're just going to jump straight into the qualifying lap in a second because there's not actually much to see before we get to it. So here we go, it's a wet qualifying session. Spuds in Q3 doing very well. He's feeling good about the circuit and the conditions, and he's putting together a pretty decent lap there. So let's just have a look as we run up the hill towards Casino Square. He's keeping it nicely in line. He's come round, going down the hill. We've got to miss that bump if you can. It unsettles the car down to this braking zone. We come round to the infamous hairpin here. And Spuds gets around it very cleanly. Sometimes he messes it up, but this time he got it spot on. Bit of corrective oversteer going around toward the tunnel, and Jeff always sends a radio message as we come through the tunnel. Pretty inconsiderate of him, considering it radio signals don't do well in tunnels. But anyway, chicane taken very well as well, not too shabby. Let's come round to back, see how he does. Slides out a little bit, a bit of a bump off the rails there. That would have cost him maybe a few tenths. Well, not a tenth, but you know what I mean. It may have cost him a bit of time there. Come around the swimming pool, pretty good line. The best he probably could do in the conditions. And comes around the final corner, runs to the line. Pretty tidy lap, 1.4 seconds up on his best time so far, but let's see where he finishes. Well, his provisional pole, but we'll see who got the pole in just a second when we get to the starting grid here. So as we have a nice view in the background, let's go. It's Kimi Raikkonen first, Spuds second. Beat Spuds by 6/100th of a second, and I get my speech impediment at the right time there. Lewis Hamilton, Bottas on the next row, then Max Verstappen, Force India, and then Hulkenberg, and that down there. It's going too fast. I've missed half of these people's names. Ricciardo got a penalty there, which is why he's down in 10th, and Vettel also had a penalty. He didn't do very well in qualifying, and I assume he's made some sort of engine change because he's sitting down there in 18th. He has got no chance today. Things going a little bit downhill, whereas they're going uphill for Kimi. So 5 lights, and let's go. Pretty good start from both the front runners there. Bottas done very well to get off the line. Top 2 holding their line, but Bottas coming around the outside of Hamilton to go around the first corner and come up the hill. Who's going to win out here? It's going to be Bottas. Bottas has got not Vettel, it's Hamilton. And very, very good start for Bottas there. And an excellent, perfect start for Kimi Raikkonen, who didn't really have anyone threatening him on the way down to turn 1. You can see the Renault there. He's going to be a bit of a blockage on the way around. There's Williams there going for a dive down to the hairpin. We'll see back in a minute what happened there. So as come flying through the tunnel, it's Kimi, Spuds, Bottas, Hamilton, and Max Verstappen there in the frame. So we're just going to have a look at Bottas now. He's on the back of Spuds, who slightly clips the barrier again. Nice view as we come round to the swimming pool here, and Spuds misses the braking, goes wide, goes across, cuts the corner, has to let that place go. Couldn't quite come back at Bottas going around the final few chicanes down the Rascas there. And unfortunately Spuds has been dumped down into 3rd, so there's the 2 FINNS up front now, the Kimi and Valtteri, as we just go on board with Bottas then. Have a look at the start. So let's just have a look at this. So pretty decent start from all of them. Bottas arguably got the better start because he was able to get around the outside, gain a position on his teammate there, and run up the hill. A little bit side by side going on there, but Bottas manages to get himself in front. So let's go on board with Felipe Massa, see what sort of start he had, and see just over on the right there Spuds' teammate Hulkenberg. So the Williams got a good start, but he did get a bit wedged into the barriers and nearly went into that barrier, but a Haas just comes out of nowhere and gets in front of both Massa and Hulkenberg. You see them both going side by side up the hill now. Who's going to come out in front? Massa is a little bit wide there, sort of forced out a little bit wide by Hulkenberg, but Hulkenberg was in the right place at the right time and got that position back from Massa. So this is Grosjean. We're going to see how he managed to get in front. He had a perfect launch there, got himself up the inside, clear space in front of him to take advantage of. A bit scrappy on the way out, colliding with the barrier there, but he did well to gain 2 positions there. And his Stroll just wildly diving up the inside. I'm not sure if he was expecting it, but pushing Alonso into the barrier. But Alonso is not having any of it. He's going to come back on him, coming round the corner into the tunnel. Are they going to go side by side? There's a few people going side by side here, but the Williams and the McLaren side by side. Stroll hangs on to that position gain there to come into the chicane pretty cleanly and out the other side. So a few laps down the line, lap 6 out of 39 here this afternoon. Spuds is hanging on to that 3rd place. You can see on the map down the left there that the 2 front runners have easily got away from Spuds. Let's just remember the Renault is not a top tier team yet, and they are going to be falling back. If this was a track we could overtake on, I mean like properly overtake, then that Renault would be a lot further down than 3rd. It was only by pure luck that it was raining in qualifying and Spuds just hooked together a lap that outperformed the car. But the Renault seemed to be doing quite well regardless, because Hulkenberg did get a half decent starting position as well, and taking corners really nicely there as well. It's not too shabby. Spuds has learned to drive the track pretty well. Again, still not his most favourite track. We're just on board with Alonso here. Let's just see what happens. And it's another engine failure for your Honda. There's a surprise. Alonso's out again. So that brings out the safety car. Virtual safety car. Yeah, I had to work out which one that was then for a minute then. So the virtual safety cars have been deployed, so it doesn't mean a full safety car, it just means kept to a certain speed for a little while and then you get released again. But it didn't last very long, maybe a lap, or half a lap maybe. But we have Hamilton coming up the inside. Is he going to take him? Spud's going to do the cutback. Can he get enough momentum to get up the hill in front of Lewis here? Just about. Lewis has to back out of it. Spuds gave him a little bit of a squeeze. He knew how much room he could play with, and luckily both of them come out of that unscathed. But Hamilton does not take that 3rd position. Not too shabby driving Spuds. He wants that podium today. It'll be his first podium since Australia if he can hang on to it. We've still got the pit stop phases to go yet, so who knows. Most of it's going to be a one-stop race. Monaco usually is, especially in the dry. Doesn't exactly make for an exciting race, but that's just how it is. It's still a challenge to drive around Monaco. It's great fun in qualifying. Not so much in the race if you're not in the lead. But strategy has its place, and talking of that, Spuds comes in for his first and only tyre change of the race. So he's on the Ultra Softs. One would assume he's going to the Super Softs. Yep, there we go. Red Bull tyres are on. And away. 2.9 second stop, not the fastest by any means. Clouted the barrier on the way out. Luckily I didn't do any lasting damage to either suspension or the front wings. But here we go, come out to the pits, and we're in 9th position here, as you can see on the screen. Ricciardo just up ahead, still in the Ultra Softs though, so he's got to stop yet. So Spuds now needs a decent lap put together so he doesn't lose too much ground on the likes of, say, Hamilton and Verstappen, who were behind him at the time. Lap 17, we're roughly halfway through. So now you just got to dig in and keep it going. Not quite halfway through, but you know what I mean. So this is Kimi. Kimi comes into the pits from the lead of the race. He's going to go for his super soft tyres. We'll see if anyone goes past him. I think there probably will be a couple of people who go past, but they'll still need to stop. Nice shot of the safety car there, just sitting there waiting to come out. Which is almost usually 100% on Monaco. But in this instance, not yet. And Kimi comes out easily in clean air there. And one of the Mercedes behind, I can only assume, That is Bottas. And speaking of Bottas, here he comes. Getting his super softs on. And out he goes. No dramas, no nothing. Clean stop. Let's see if he's in any traffic on the way out. Nope, doesn't look like it. Again, a completely cleared track for the top two leaders. So, Bottas needs to get his foot down if he has any chance of catching Raikkonen, but it doesn't seem likely at this stage just yet. Spuds obviously kept him far enough behind, and there's Spuds going past here. Who's this coming out of the pits? Is a Force India, along with a Renault. Hulkenberg is behind Spuds. Verstappen's also behind Spuds in that pit stop phase, but Ocon's on fire. He's managed to get himself in front of Spuds, and now Spuds has got some work to do. So 26 laps completed. Now we've just gone a bit further down the line. Someone in front pitted, so that means everyone has been promoted up a position, and Spuds can see that podium slipping away, but he is keeping that Force India in his sights. And he's just going to have to find some way of getting past on this track, the track that is the most likely to be able to get past on. But Spuds will need to find a way. He's going to dive up the inside here. He's going to try and do it. A little lock up there. You can see the smoke just dissipating side by side through the tunnel. Who's going to come out on top as we're going round to the chicane. Who's up the he's up the inside. Ocon's up the inside. But Spuds got the inside line on the chicane, but has to let that in Force India get back in front. Otherwise, it's going to cause one hell of a collision, basically. So come round to the old swimming pool bit. Spuds does cross the line a little bit, doesn't get warned for corner cutting though, mind. Nearly loses it on the way round to the final bend there, but he has DRS, and this is one of the most likely places you'll be able to overtake someone, but it's just too far away and doesn't quite manage to do it. So it's just going to have to find another way past. He is trying desperately to find any ways past that he can. He wants that podium. He doesn't want Ocon to have it. And to be fair, Renault is also going to be fighting Force India pretty soon. A massive lock-up going into that bend. He never thought he was going to be that close to him, but just hangs on to it. That won't do the tyre life any good, but regardless, he's going to put all of his efforts into getting past that Pink Panther. So there you go. You can see lap 34. He's been behind the Force India this long. He's still going, still trying to find a way past. He's still right up his gearbox there. As I say, Renault is also fighting Force India, the constructors. Maybe not yet, but they will be in the future, because these are teams that are relatively evenly matched so far this year. And here he goes, Spuds up the inside. Oh, so close, but he manages to make it stick. And he's done it. He's back up to third. He's turning down his engine pretty quickly because he used up a lot of fuel. He's in a fuel deficit at the moment, so he needs to save some fuel over the next few laps if he has any chance of even finishing the race. But let's just have a look at that again on board with Ocon. You can see him, just how close Spuds was, and the help with DRS just slots it up the inside, doesn't run into him, gives him enough room. Very fair, well executed, can't argue with that. So nothing else, genuinely nothing else happened after this, and here's Raikkonen on the final lap of the race. Comes round, final bends, you can see just ahead the Force India there, and Spud's not far up ahead, but Kimi Raikkonen comes through to win in Monaco, makes it back-to-back wins after a wet weekend of Spain, and he puts himself equal to Vettel in the driver's standings. Could be a Ferrari fight out this year for the title, we never know. The Mercedes are still yet to be in a good position in the championship, but they are working on it. Bottas is looking ever increasingly likely to finish second. I think he has as well, because the top two did put some distance on third place man here, Spuds. Almost a lap's worth. So they've pretty much lapped everyone right up to fifth place, pretty much. maybe a few back. But we'll see on the results screen when we come to it. So this is the final lap of the Grand Prix. Spuds is glad it's nearly over, but he's just trying to hold it together. There's Hulkenberg as well, so he's done well. So you've got Spuds there in third, Ocon fourth, and Hulkenberg is fifth. So a good day for Renault so far. Let's just keep it together to get round Raskas. Get around there, yeah, just keeping it all together, keeping it smooth. And Spuds comes through to get his his second podium of the season. Not bad for only 6 races down so far in his Renault career, but he's made third position. Very good result for the Banana team there. There he is, Kimi Räikkönen, climbing out of his car. It's been the day, the 2 Finns, and the Brit joins them on the podium. So congratulations all round. There's Perez. He had a decent enough day, 7th, but he might have wanted to be up a bit higher than that. But never mind. Let's just have a look at the results. So Räikkönen, Bottas, Spuds, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Grosjean, Perez and Massa, Magnussen and Vettel manages to make it into the top 10. Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race. Then you've got Stroll, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Hamilton, Ericsson, Wehrlein, Sainz, Van Dorn and Alonso, whose engine gave up early on in the race. So there's the driver standings. 2 Ferraris at the top, followed by Hamilton. Spuds holds on to 4th, only by 1 point for Valtteri Bottas. Hulkenberg in the top 10. And there's the back end as well. 2 McLarens and 2 Saubers sitting at the bottom there. Still unfortunate. Let's just have a look at the constructors' standings. Ferrari sitting pretty at the top, 202, followed by Mercedes. Renault and Force India are getting closer and closer together. Let's not discount Red Bull as well. They'll be looking to break up into the top 3, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. It's early days yet. So there's Räikkönen on top step, and well done to him. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time in Canada.